little background. I am 22. The people in this story are somewhere between their late 20s and early 30s, but they'd constantly change their ages, last names, and jobs when I asked. My friend was 28. So this has mostly ended, but this was ongoing for about a half of a year. Due to a shitty life situation, I had a terrible breakup with a guy I had been living with, and I was really raw. So I decided to move out and into an apartment with my friend, who was really cool about it, just never home. She always had guests though, and they were incredibly, deeply terrible and weird. The first thing her boyfriend said to me after meeting him was that I should never trust anyone, especially him. Okay, kinda weird. But then he started hitting on me, and my friend sort of watched in a weird way, as if she was jealous. But I kinda got this weird feeling she wasn't. He was really oddly charismatic, and he was that type of guy that could get away with saying anything. My friend was the quiet, confident type, and she'd flirt with me on occasions too. It was weird, but I figured they were probably just like poly or something. They came on strong, but I'm always the accepting type, so I didn't care. A little over a month in, I couldn't move out, and we really started to get in trouble. He started threatening me and literally following me everywhere, including the bathroom. I'm starting to really freak out. So my friend agrees to stay home. By then, she's home almost all of the time. My friend then kind of fake rants about him to me, and she invites a completely new friend I've never met to help us. They do this weird thing where they comfort me in front of him. He just sits in the corner as they hug me and tell me how awful he is and how great I am. I keep asking them to make him leave, and they keep giving me excuses that seem really off. I also didn't have a job, and I wasn't on the lease yet. The boyfriend and her friend were, but they didn't live there. Something that I hated was that they were always charmingly dishonest. They seemed like they were rarely busy, and if I asked for personal details, they kept changing the story. Her boyfriend said that he was a doctor, a judge, a cop, an actor, and a lawyer at some point. My friend's friend seemed more like his friend, and they'd always be his coworker or assistant, or occasionally boss, when they changed the story. My friend had a rich family to rely on, so I'm pretty sure that she quit her regular job. But she often makes up stories about there are jobs too. When they leave, they never say where or anything like that, and they always keep their phones hidden. For 3 months, the boyfriend and her friend are there every day. My friend is there sometimes, but she just makes it seem like I've offended her badly. I'm still unable to find work then, so I feel pretty bad. Her boyfriend and her friend constantly asking me questions, having me explain everything, and being oddly rude, but in a very sweet way. I'm sorry to say, but I fell for it a lot. They even decided to give me 2 nicknames, Beautiful and Gullible. They tell me really weird, pointless lies. They were with me 24/7, all day, every day. If I looked at my phone, they did too. If I went to the shower, they kept opening the door. No locks. I really don't know why, and it was both of them. They're still really nice and telling me how great I am, and they all even tell me they love me at some point. They started saying that they were all angels or something. Everyone tried to be romantic with me, and everyone started to feel kind, yet like authority figures. They're all really great talkers, not to mention older than me. 4 months in, I've gotten used to the lack of privacy and boundaries. I keep saying it's temporary. My friend and her friends keep switching from nice to really terrible. At this point, they literally are sleeping in the same room as me. I wake up to them doing things occasionally. They even start waking up randomly multiple times in the night to do random tasks. My friend's boyfriend starts talking about how they're not really together anymore, and about how I'm so great for him, and blah blah blah. It's not long before he starts telling me I'm the one for him, and everything, and unfortunately, he's really easy to fall for. He was the only one I was ever alone with the whole time. I wasn't ever even alone with my friend. Even worse, I'm really strangely good at meshing with other people, so I really fit everyone really nicely. And when her boyfriend was great, he was really great. We'd align really nicely. Because of this, I think he really started to believe his bullshit. 5 months in, all hell breaks loose. They stopped calling me by my name entirely and only called me gullible. Her boyfriend became really erratic after the first time I rejected him. They started creating planned drama to ambush me with. I'd even overhear them coming up with it. They were making literal plans for the next day if I pretended to sleep. They were all good at talking in weird loops and weird phrases. A few of them were, "We're demons. You're a demon. We're terrible people. Be gullible. We're all beautiful. And I have trust issues." They'd constantly look at me in weird ways, questioning, asking me, "Who are you?" And, "Are you the keeper of secrets?" Over and over until I'd answer. They started recording me and trying to get me to embarrass myself in any way. They wouldn't let me leave, and I was exhausted all of the time. They tried to convince me I was jealous of everyone, that I was just a homewrecker, that I was someone else entirely, and I hated all minorities of all kinds, that I was a prostitute, and that I was even secretly a pedophile. The accusations and explanations were constant. They'd corner me into everything and openly take notes of my reaction to absolutely everything. I started trying to escape, but they kept telling me they had information and they'd send it to everyone. I started getting this feeling everyone had heavy blackmail on each other. 6 months in, they threatened me. They called a friend over to scare me. He pretended to be a sex trafficker. I really started to freak out, and I threatened to call the police. Everyone really started to change then. I had no energy. They started recording me, following me to the shower, trying to seduce me constantly, making me afraid to eat, trying to convince me they had someone impersonate me to doctor up evidence against me. And they threatened me if I told anyone anything. Their random drama got incredibly elaborate. They'd invite friends over to trick me and humiliate me over anything. I'd never even know anybody's name. Strangers would watch me sleep. They'd attempt to convince me of absolutely anything, and they'd coordinate attacks to get specific reactions. There were at least 8 people involved. A few times, they'd figure out how to get me into fits of rage, where I'd threaten them and I'd have a full freak out. They recorded them and kept asking if I was wished for retribution. If I hurt or embarrassed them in any way, they'd say that must be their catharsis. They'd repeat my secrets back to me, and by the time I'd give in, and to a few regrettable demands, they'd remind me of them. They kept suggesting that they created me in some way, and that I was in a dream, or I was just a character in their plot. When I'd reach my breaking point, they'd get terrifyingly sweet. They'd pretend that they were helping me get repressed emotions out, or giving me some sort of therapy. I even believed it out of exhaustion. Her boyfriend, who seemed to be the leader most of the time, although they seemingly switched power dynamics constantly, started telling me I was finally becoming beautiful. But the second I rejected his advances, the abuse started in full force. They kept asking if I wanted retribution. It was like they had unlimited time and energy, and I was always exhausted and in pain. I started to notice that their weird code words were actually working. I'd get an emotion or a desire from them that I think was just too much. One night I just snapped and I couldn't think. I just couldn't care. Nothing mattered, and I just walked out with less than my shoes. I walked shoeless to my ex's parents' house, and he thankfully came to pick me up that night. So for the time being, I live with my ex again. It's been less than a month, and oddly, I just can't stop laughing about the whole thing. It really isn't funny to me, but I can't have a normal reaction to it. There's a lot I left out, so it probably is a bit rushed sounding. I don't know really what to do. 8 months with 3 deeply cruel individuals. They attempted to brainwash me, create multiple personalities, and refused to let me leave. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you would like to see more cult stories, make sure to let me know down in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, and if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot of content and a lot more coming. And if you would like to, make sure to check out the channel members section on the channel, where I post bonus content like more stories and stuff like that. At some point I'll get some bloopers on there, because, yeah, I mess up a lot on these stories. Make sure to check out the links in the description, like my Twitter, Instagram, everything like that, including my Gmail, is down there if you would like to submit a story. But other than that, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one. Not gonna lie, you probably shouldn't let people brainwash you. There's a lot